Hello, how is everyone tonight? Welcome back to Healing Hidden Money Wounds. My name is Jillian and I am a financial strategist, and I help women heal their money wounds and build more empowered and abundant relationship with money. So tonight is part 2 of a part 5 series. And tonight we're going to be talking about something that I feel like is really important. And like last night, I will be looking away, checking my notes, making sure I'm staying on track, not missing anything. Okay, so part 2 of part 5 is we're going to discuss the signs of hidden money wounds and why that's okay. Because it is okay if you have money wounds. Everybody does. Don't let them fool you by saying, I don't have any money wounds. Most people do. So I want y'all to listen to me, okay? Because this is something that can be very overwhelming to talk about, okay? Discussing this isn't about blame. This is all about awareness, okay? I just want to help bring awareness to money wounds because it will help you elevate your financial well-being in a way that you can elevate your life, okay? So when you start to recognize your own patterns, you stop living on autopilot. Because I know most of us, I'm guilty of it as well. We live on autopilot, okay? We just kind of get in the mood of things and just go, right? When you finally start to feel seen, not judged, but seen, that is where true healing begins, okay? So before we dive in, like last night, take a deep breath, take 2, take 3, take 5, take 10. However many breaths you need to take. If you need to press pause, go ahead and breathe in, slowly breathe out. Now, when you breathe in through your nose, close your mouth, and then blow it out through your mouth, okay? Because I want y'all to be relaxed and I don't want y'all to be overwhelmed with this, okay? This is why it's a 5-part series. That way you don't get overwhelmed. We can do a little bit at a time, okay? So I just want to talk a little bit about what we talked about last night. Just a refresher, okay? Hidden money wounds. They're an emotional imprint, right? A belief around money that was formed, usually through childhood, right? Most of this is without your permission through trauma, survival, and childhood experiences, okay? Now, the thing with hidden money wounds, okay, is that, so I want to make sure you understand it's an emotional imprint, okay? When we're talking about this kind of stuff, it is an emotional imprint. And trying to have the best light. These wounds don't always scream for attention. Okay? These wounds aren't always being like, okay? Sometimes they're doing this and they're sitting in the background watching, but they're still there, right? Sometimes they hide in plain sight. It can be in your habits, your shame, your avoidance, or your hustle, okay? So how do you know if you have hidden money wounds? Common signs, okay? I'm going to list a few of these. And as you listen, I want you to actually listen to what I'm saying. If any of them hit home, pause the video and take another deep breath, okay? Feel relaxed in your body before you proceed, okay? Because this isn't a diagnosis, okay? It's an invitation to be curious, okay? I'm not diagnosing anything. This is just an invitation to be curious and do some self-reflection to work through those hidden money wounds, okay? So, like we discussed last night, a common sign is avoiding looking at bills or bank statements or your bank account. Or something that I've done quite often, checking your bank account every day, multiple times a day. Okay? That comes from scarcity and unsurety, okay? So like feeling a pit in your stomach every time you get a notification for your bank or anything like that, okay? That could be a hidden money wound, okay? That could point to fear or powerlessness, okay? That's where it could be rooted. Could be. When you overspend, okay, do you feel safe? Do you feel seen? Do you feel validated? I've been there too, okay? I would overspend, like if we'd have like a girls' dinner or girl shopping trip, and I would either avoid going out altogether and come up with an excuse because I didn't have money to do what the other girls were doing, or I would spend money I didn't have money to spend, right? I would spend something that was put back for something else so that I didn't look as broke as I did, okay? That, we have a huge lack of validation, right? In the world that we live in today, validation is huge. Do you feel, you know how you can be addicted to alcohol and drugs, right? Well, you could be addicted to even shopping, right? If it gives you a high, a sense of control, right? But then later, you feel guilty after doing all that spending. You're like, oh man, shouldn't have done that. I've done that too. I've done that too. So that type of wound could possibly come to, it's going to be tied to something emotional, usually scarcity or neglect. Mine was both, scarcity and neglect, okay? Do you feel guilty for wanting more? Do you feel guilty for wanting more? So you'll downplay your goals, downplay your dreams and aspirations. You'll shrink your dreams because you're afraid of what people may think, right? And that usually has to do with worthiness. That type of wound usually has to do with worthiness. Like, I heard this a lot growing up. You should just be grateful. People have it worse. It usually comes back to worthiness. I've done that too. I have downplayed what I've wanted in life, minimalized what I've wanted in life to make others happy and to not make others feel like I want too much out of life. I've done that too. I have also done this next one. You hoard money, but you still don't feel safe. Safety doesn't come with hoarding money. I've done that. Been very stingy with money. Hoarding money. Okay. I've done that. I think a lot of people have. You save, but you still have anxiety. And usually you don't feel like enough, right? Not only is it you don't feel like you have enough, but you don't feel like you're enough. Okay? And that can be scary. Sometimes those type of wounds come from, how do I put this? It can come from trauma. It can come from instability, where you were in survival mode. I grew up in poverty, been there too. I was in survival mode for most of my life until 37 years old, until my late 30s, where I started moving myself out of survival mode. And it's quite a different world to put yourself into. At first, it's overwhelming to try and move out of survival mode. But a lot of times that comes from people in poverty usually live in survival mode, right? Because people in poverty, there's a difference in being poor and being broke, okay? Being broke, you have enough for the necessities, but nothing extra. People who are poor, they didn't even have enough for the necessities, so they were stuck in survival mode, right? And when you're broke, you go back and forth in and out of survival mode, okay? So that's actually very common for people that are in survival mode. I've been guilty of this one a lot, and it's something I've been working really hard on, is your self-worth being tied to your income. Feeling like you're worth less because you don't make what Chris Evans makes, or Scarlett Johansson, or Johnny Depp, or some of these influencers here on TikTok and Instagram, and what's some other ones? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I mean, those are the most popular, right? YouTubers, the Paul brothers, right? You feel like their worth is more because they have more money. No. Your self-worth is not equal to your income. But that could be a money wound. So like having a paycheck or income that's low, right? It makes you feel like you're failing in life, okay? And when this shows up, it has to do with our identity, and it's usually wrapped up in, like I said, proving that you're enough, proving that you're worthy, right? Feeling enough and feeling worthy. I've been guilty of most of these, so I understand exactly where people are coming from. And I'm still working on this next one. Constantly overworking, hustling, or trying to earn rest. Now, I do take my rest. I don't feel like I need to earn resting and recuperating and resetting like I used to. But I still feel sometimes like I'm working on not overworking, right? Because I was very guilty of overworking when I was younger. I always had 2, sometimes 3 jobs, right? Because I did not want my kids to be without. I wanted them to have everything they needed, and sometimes some of the stuff they wanted. And that is something the last 5 or 7 years I've been working on, not overworking and not getting enough rest. I've been resetting a lot and letting my body tell me how it feels and when it needs rest. And instead of overworking and working all the time, I have taken my breaks, right? This is also from money wounds. Now, people will tell you, you're lazy. You're not very productive. You have to have every inch of your day covered. That causes burnout. If you feel lazy and like you're not being productive because you need to reset because you're overworking and you're not resting enough, that could be a money wound. Because in order to perform and be productive, you have to have time to rest, okay? Your body needs fuel. It needs to recuperate, okay? Your value is not go down because you're not productive one day and you rest, or because you decide to be lazy one day and rest. You still have the same value. And most of the time it's connected to childhood trauma. The environment in which you were around as a child. Did you feel loved? Did you feel safe? Was feeling love and safe conditional? I understand that too. My mom worked multiple jobs. She was always working. My siblings were a lot older and took care of me, and my dad was an alcoholic. Been there, done that. And it took me a very long time to realize I didn't have to earn rest and recuperation. I didn't have to earn it. Right? This is something that I've experienced, but in a different way. So a lot of people freeze or panic needing to make financial decisions. Okay? I would either just act like I would just ignore it, or I would just hurry up and do it before I change my mind without thinking it through, right? I would just I wouldn't think about it. I would just do it. Or I would just ignore it and pretend it would go away. I didn't freeze. I didn't panic. I just well, if I act like it doesn't exist, then it doesn't exist. And if I just hurry up and do the decision, at least I made the decision, And then if it was the wrong decision, I would pay for it later. I made a lot of wrong decisions and paid for it. But instead of freezing or panicking, I kind of ran into it or ran away from it, If you second guess yourself when making even a small decision, right? Do you procrastinate a lot? Do you feel shame because of procrastination? I was the queen of procrastination. And I still struggle with procrastination at times with certain things, okay? Like I have said before, healing is like an onion. You have to peel it one layer back at a time. You don't just get it all at once, right? You peel a layer back and then another one comes up, right? You're always working and healing. There's no, oh my God, it's peaches and rainbows. I healed everything and I'm perfect now. But most people, they freeze. They're like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And they start panicking. That's the most common. It's a trauma response, but it is not a flaw in your character. It's not a flaw in your character. It is a trauma response. It is a response to trauma that happened with a situation involving money. Okay? So, I just want to make sure it is okay to have hidden money wounds. It is okay. Okay? It is okay. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay? Now, we're getting through this. If you need to, take another pause. Take a deep breath. Get back to a restful spot. And then we'll continue. So, if any of you see yourself in these, okay? If you're sitting here going, man, I understand that. Oh my God. Yes, yes. Okay, like I said, take a deep breath. It's okay. Just breathe, okay? This is a moment we're going to kind of just chill so y'all can breathe. You're not broken. Don't let people tell you you're broken. And you're not bad with money, okay? I want you to repeat that before we go on. I am not broken. I am not bad with money. Okay, repeat after me. I am not broken. I am not bad with money. Okay? What happened is you learned certain patterns to survive, to cope, and to protect yourself. Money wounds are not your fault. Okay? They are not your fault. Say it with me. Money wounds are not my fault. Okay? But here's your opportunity to start healing from them. Every pattern that you have around you and around money, it was created for a reason, okay? And every one of them can be unlearned. You can unlearn patterns. You can unlearn habits. And we're going to do this together with compassion, no shame. Okay? With compassion. There is no shame here, no judgment. I want you to create a new story for yourself. But you have to be able to see yourself clearly and gently. Be gentle with yourself, okay? So I want you to take a minute, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Maybe get a journal. I have a workbook coming out to go with this 5-part series. Create a new story for yourself. What does your dream life look like? How do you see yourself with money, okay? So, wrapping up with today, here's what I want you to know, okay? You are not the only one. You are not alone. You are not behind. And you are not too late. It is not too late, okay? Say it with me. I am not alone. I am not behind. I am not too late. It is not too late, okay? This journey that I'm taking you on is about yourself, helping healing yourself, okay? You don't have to fix anything. It's about healing and moving through that, okay? I want you to remember that your financial story, it's human. It's deeply human, okay? Say it with me. My financial story is deeply human. And it can evolve. Your money story evolves with you as you evolve, okay? So, we're coming to the end. I know this was a lot. If you need, take a breath, okay? Like I said, I want to do this in parts because this is for y'all. So in the next part, what we're going to be talking about is more in depth of where they come from and working through those. Context does matter, right? And when you understand the roots of these, you can start to shift, right? Shift it like shifting fruit. And so we're going to be talking about, like I said, more where it comes from. I'm really excited for all of y'all to come back in part 3. If this resonates with you, if any of these videos have resonated with you, I would love for you to comment below. I want you to share, what you felt. If you felt any of that, if you understood any of that, if it's true for you or most of it or some of it. I want you to feel safe with money. And I want you to feel safe to talk about money. You're already doing the work by just being here and watching this video. Okay? You're already doing the work. So, see you in part 3, not 2. See you in part 3. We're going to discuss money wounds more in depth and the impact they have on every aspect in your life. Okay? So y'all have a great night. Bye, guys.